Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Yoga Anywhere. I'm so glad you've decided to join me today. And today's episode of Yoga Anywhere is a little bit different. Today, instead of doing a physical practice, we're actually going to be talking through how to create a successful home practice. So I think that one of the biggest things about, starting to practice online, whether it's with me or somebody else, or taking a course online, or using an app like Yoga Glow or Down Dog, is that we need to get in the habit of doing it. So I want to talk about a couple of things that can really help you with creating a successful home practice. All right, so number one, you need to have a space where you can practice. So I know that in the videos, I'm generally kind of in this space in our current apartment in Mexico City, but when I'm not filming for you, when I need a space where you can see me, I actually set my mat up over, along this side of our living room. So I actually have a space where my mat is set up every single day, all the time, except for when I'm filming for you guys, just because the space doesn't really work otherwise. So number one, set up a space. If you live in a small apartment like I do, find a little nook kind of in the corner or a little space where you feel like, okay, I could come to this every day. You might want to set up a little altar there, maybe with things like candles, incense, maybe a Buddha or a Ganesh or something. If you're like, whoa, this is way too much for me, you definitely don't have to have any of that, but it is nice to kind of have this place where you can come to and you can sit and you can breathe and you can move your body. So definitely number one, if your space is way too small to continuously have a yoga mat out, what I would do is actually just roll up your yoga mat and put your yoga mat sitting down in that space. So all you have to do is unroll it. So the reason why we have this space is because one of the biggest challenges is being like, oh, well, I've got to set up. It's like as easy as unrolling a mat, but still our brains tell us that's too much effort. I'm not going to do that. All right. So what you want to do is go set up your space or pick a space or choose a space, get that all set up, either have your mat unrolled or rolled up depending on how big your place is and how much space you have, and just create this little sanctuary, this little place that is going to be your little yoga studio. All right, number two. Number two is putting it in your schedule. So one of the biggest pieces of, let's say, pushback I've gotten from people as I've been helping them set up home practices is, well, my schedule is different every day. Totally, I get it. I've worked shift work, I've served, I've worked in retail, I've done all sorts of different things where I've had an inconsistent schedule. One thing you can do is put it in your morning routine every day. So, 10 to 30 minutes of yoga practice, and you have your space. All you got to do is show up, and every day at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. or 10 a.m., whatever it is, I practice yoga. If that absolutely doesn't work for you, what I would get in the habit of doing is using kind of your last hour that you're up on Sunday nights to plan out your week. So look at whatever calendar you use, whether it's a paper day timer like I use or a Google Calendar, and just look at where yoga is going to fit in and actually plan it in. So planning ahead and having it in your schedule is going to be really important. All right, number three. Set realistic expectations for yourself. So a daily practice is absolutely amazing if you can do that, but for some of us, we can't. For some of us, it just feels like too much, or we've got other activities on the go. Maybe you also go to the gym, or you play squash, or you play tennis, or you play, on a soccer league or something like that. So you want to look at your schedule and really be realistic about how much you can do yoga. 3 times a week is an amazing, amount to strive for. Of course, if you can do even 5 minutes every day of movement, that's really great. But, 3 times a week is really great. So using number 1 and number 2, so setting up your space, scheduling it in, and then, choosing your frequency, choosing and being realistic. And also with this number 3, with this being realistic is, the concept of being realistic with how much time you're going to dedicate. So sometimes people are like, okay, I'm going to dive into yoga. I'm going to do 1 hour every single day of the week. And then it completely crumbles apart because realistically, they don't have an hour in their day to dedicate to yoga. These videos that I'm doing are short. They're between 5 and 20 minutes long. I think the longest one maybe goes to 30 minutes. And that's not much time into your day if you think about how much time you spend scrolling on social media, I mean, maybe I should speak for you, but for myself, I know that if I need to find 20 minutes to do something in a day, I certainly can. I just have to take it out of my Instagram story watching or out of time spent on YouTube, time scrolling Facebook, that sort of thing. So the next step in setting up this home practice is really getting clear on what you want to do and being realistic. So setting up the frequency per week and how much time you want to spend on it. And so now you've got a lot of pieces of the puzzle. So what's next? So number 4 is preparing ahead of time. So one thing that I love to do with this is to know exactly what I'm going to practice. So if you have a solid home practice where you can just, start flowing and you move with your body, that's amazing. It takes a lot of this sort of effort away. But what we're trying to do is make it a lot easier for ourselves. So if you're going to set up a regular morning practice, I would actually set up the videos beforehand. So in your space, roll out your mat, set up your laptop or your phone. You can still plug it in, set your alarm, whatever you need to do, but actually pull up the video you want to do and have it on pause. So whether or not it's YouTube or Vimeo or one of the apps I mentioned before, pull it up beforehand. So all you have to do in the morning or, the next time you're going to practice is just show up. You just got to show up, press play, and you start moving. It makes it so much easier for yourself. So if, for example, you're doing a nightly practice, so the whole leaving my computer out doesn't work for you because you need your computer all day, I totally get it. Maybe looking at, a couple different practices that you might want to do and downloading them if you can, or just writing out what they are and bookmarking the links. Just anything that makes it easier for yourself to show up. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to avoid all of the extra effort. So there's a lot of effort in thinking about what class you're going to go to, when you're going to go, how long it's going to be, scheduling into your time, getting your clothes changed, getting it set up in your space. And we just really want to make it easy. So we set up our space, we have it in our schedule, we know how long we're going to practice and what days we practice on, and then we're setting up the class we want to take. So it's all ready to go. It's perfectly ready for you, and that makes it super, super easy. So number 5 for setting up a home practice. Be easy on yourself. It's so hard. It's so easy to beat ourselves up about things these days. It's like, oh, I didn't drink enough water. I didn't eat enough vegetables. I suck. I'm the worst. No, you're not. You're trying to start a home yoga practice, so be gentle on yourself. Be easy on yourself and don't give up. If you miss a day or, it's not working for you, just continue to come back to it. Give yourself these little reminders, maybe set them in your phone or in your day timer and just, remind yourself, I can do this. Apparently, it takes 21 days to make a habit. So I would commit to this for at least 3 weeks, probably even longer, to just really build this into your daily routine, into your weekly routine, and allow itself to get going. If you have a regular journaling practice, I would journal about it. Journal about your feelings. If you're feeling disappointed or bummed out because you missed a practice, just journal about that and let yourself know that it's okay to miss a practice. It's okay to, not show up when you said you were going to or when you wanted to, but that, next time you're going to do it. And just always coming back to why you wanted to do this. So I think that's going to be number 6, our final one. Number 6, coming back to our why. So always know why you want to practice. And this is really great if you can just, sit and breathe on it, sit and meditate on it, maybe journal on it, or just consciously think why do I want to do this? Because I want to lose weight, because I want to be more flexible, because I want to feel good in my body, because I've got an injury I'm healing, because it really helps with the other things that I do as an athlete. Just know why you want to do this. And always coming back to your why during the times when it's tough, during the times when you're beating yourself up because you missed a practice or because you feel like maybe your practice wasn't that solid or you're not improving at the rate you wanted to. Always coming back to that why. All right, so I hope that this video has been helpful. If you have any questions about setting up a home practice or you're struggling with anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can send me an email at info@mvomyoga.com. You can put something in the comments, and I'm always happy to, talk with you, help with you, work with you, that sort of thing. So thank you so much for joining me today, and namaste.